Hey everybody, welcome back to Prescription Bourbon. I'm DMC from Louisville, Kentucky. Today I'm going to be doing a blind flight of some 12-year-old Sherry Finished Scotches. I've previously done a video with some low-priced Sherry Finished Scotches. This is going to be a mid-priced, mid-tier level Sherry Finished Scotches. I'll taste through them and see what I like. Alright, I've got these poured already, got them aired out. Let me unbox these so I can show you the bottles. One of these is going to be Glenmorangie, the Lasanta, which is their Sherry Finished 12-year-old. One of these is going to be Dalmore, in particular the Sherry Cask Select, which is 12 years old. As mentioned, these are all 12-year-old. Proof-wise so far, I've got 43%, 86 proof on the Glenmorangie. Also got 43%, 86 proof on the Dalmore. Got Tamdhu, which kind of has a cold box in the bottle. This guy is also 43%, so 86 proof. And the fourth one here is Glenfiddich, in particular there. Says special edition 12-year-old Sherry Cask Finish. So, and this one is also 40%. So they're all exactly the same age and proof. They're all 12 years old, and they're all 86 proof. All right, the Glenmorangie and the Glenfiddich are also have some American oak or bourbon influence, but they are sherry finish also. And the Glenfiddich says in their Amontillado sherry cask. The Tamdhu says only sherry cask, and the Dalmore says they 3 different types of sherry cask of Oloroso sherry cask. So there you go. Very similar on the profiles. Now, these are all in the roughly $60 price range. Might have got some of them might have been up to close to 70, so it might have been down in the 50s. But the first video I did of the low-priced cherries, I didn't go over $40. They were all more like $30 to $40 range. So these are more like the, $60 range, give or take. So, all right, get these glasses ready here. We'll call this A on your left, A, B, C, D. Go through and give them a quick nose. I do know that I'm a bourbon channel, but I must say that Sherry Finished Scotch is a guilty pleasure of mine. All right, definitely getting I'm getting a little bit of fruitiness on there. Tad, very slight malty, but some good fruit. Glass B. All right, the fruit's much more subdued on that one. Whereas Glass A had a little bit of sharpness to it, Glass B is very much more grounded. So, all right, Glass C. All right, that's probably the most one-note nose of them so far, but it's definitely got the sherry fruitiness there. And Glass D. All right, very similar to Glass B as far as that groundedness. Some fruitiness is subdued. I'm going to say Glass A, I think, is my favorite nose. And just with these sitting here too, just looking, Glass B and D, which I said had the most similar noses, also appear to be the darker color of the batch. A little bit more reddish than the other two. I'm not sure if any of these have added color or not. Would not be surprised if at least one of them did. But I know there's probably at least one that doesn't. So. All right, like I say, these are mixed up and these are blind. These are not in the same order as the bottles, so I don't know which one I'm going to be, nosing, tasting here as I go. But I will, at the end of the video, after I do the reveal, I'll go back and edit this, and I'll tell you as we go which one was which. And like I say, A Class A had my favorite nose. Go in and give it a sip. Cheers. That one is fairly spicy. It's a good peppery spice. all over the tongue. A little bit of warmth going down. There is some fruitiness there, nothing distinct as far as which fruit it is. A tad bit of oak presence there too, nothing nearly I get out of bourbons or American whiskeys. So, but there's a little bit of oak. I think I like the nose better than the taste on that one. All right, Class B. Cheers. All right, not nearly the spice that A had. It does have some. It comes later in the finish, though. And the finish, I think, lasts a little longer. A little bit, just ever so slightly thicker mouthfeel, too. It's not a thick mouthfeel, though. It's still kind of thin. But A was thinner than B. Not so much fruit on the taste on this one either, though. So, let's see where it goes. We'll go back and taste them again, but it's just the first pass. All right, Class C. Cheers. Similar to B on the spice, comes late on the finish. It is lingering. Has an ever so slightly more fruitiness than B. So not that much really. So I'm a little surprised I'm not getting maltiness on these at all, really. So definitely getting the sherry influence, getting some spice out of them. So all right, Class D first taste. Cheers. I think it's more fruit forward than B and C were. I'll have to go back and compare it to A. I'd say it's one of the front runners. Front runners on the taste. So last one I just tasted, so hard to say, but I like this one pretty good. We'll go back and taste them again. Let me take a short break here, rinse my palate out, and I will taste them again and come up with my favorite for the day. All right, I'm back going to taste through these again. One quick note, just as a reminder, these are all 12-year-old Sherry Finished Scotches. They're all 86 proof, 43% alcohol. And I did not mention that the Dalmore and Glenmorangie are Highland Scotches, and Tamdhu and Glenfiddich are Speyside Scotches. So, I mean, Speyside is actually a subset of the Highlands, so they're, and even if it wasn't, it's right next to it. So, all right, Class D. Nice. Let's give it a taste. Kind of a subdued taste. Has that spice on the back end that I mentioned. Has a little bit of good mouth coating there. Fruit doesn't stand out. It's pleasant, but let's see where it goes. Class C. Is spicier than D. Thinner. I'm gonna put D above C at the moment. Nothing wrong with C. If I really had to say, I think it might have some of the bourbon influence or something like that. So that's what I was looking for. This might be delicious on a given day, but right now I'm looking for some sherry finished scotches. So yeah, B hit above C for sure. Also thicker spice on the tail end there. Probably was the first one that hit me as a cinnamon. Also been hitting more as pepper as I've been tasting today, but this one hit more of a cinnamon. Go to Class A. That's more what I'm looking for. It might be thinner, but it's got a good amount of peppery spice. It's got a good amount of fruit in there. It's not super jammy fruit or anything, but it's not an orchard fruit either. It might have a hint of some sort of fig or raisin. I think I'm gonna have to put A above B. So now I just have to compare A and D and put one above the other. D's definitely a thicker mouthfeel. Some good spice on the back end. So A is going to win today. It just is more exciting for me. Right off the bat, the nose I liked. It's got more spice from the get-go. It's not subdued on the back end. I've drank so much now, the spice level's building and the finish can be building also. But I believe this has a very good finish. And the spice holds. I mean, like I say, it hits early. I think it holds through that. The only thing I might have for it is the mouthfeel is a little thin. But other than that, I like the nose, I like the fruitiness, the spiciness, the finish. It's a great pour. So A is going to be my top choice today. D is second, and then B and C. Nothing wrong with any of these. Any given day, I might choose a different order. But for today, on my palate and what I was expecting and looking for, A is my clear choice today. So, all right. So my fourth place today is the Glenfiddich. So that's the guy over here. He is finished as some ex bourbon barrels and sherry, and it's the Amontillado sherry, which doesn't mean anything to me, but it's a different type of sherry. But he comes in fourth. Third place, Class B, is the Glenmorangie. So that's this guy right here. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I think he had pros along the way. Definitely beat out the Glenfiddich. And I'm a fan of the other Glenmorangies. You know, they've got a whole line of different finishes. And this Lasanta is pretty nice. All right. Second place, Class D, is the Dalmore. So that's this guy here. Another Highland Scotch. Definitely lacking on the nose. But delicious. Delicious. Which is crazy. That means my number one is the Tamdhu. But yeah, this may be the lightest colored one here. I think it's one of the cooler bottles and box presentations here. But there probably is definitely no coloring added. Interesting. I don't have much information on Tamdhu. It was the last one added to my lineup. I just saw it as a 12-year sherry finished Scotch that looked interesting and good price. Threw it in the lineup, and surprisingly, it won out. All right, I like it. Appreciate you tuning in. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. It really helps the channel. Leave some comments down below. If you like sherry finished scotches, if you have a favorite that's not in this lineup or one that is in this lineup, let me know. What do you think? I'd love to have a conversation with you. Remember, everybody, all bourbon is whiskey, but all whiskey is not bourbon. Best bourbon comes from Kentucky, and obviously the best scotch comes from Scotland. Cheers.